Some people choose to be alone. Others are left with no choice. Hannah wasn't always like this. There was a time when she had a family, friends, a life full of laughter. But something happened, something that changed everything. Now she lived in a small apartment, far away from the world, no visitors, no calls, no connections, just an existence, day after day, in quiet solitude. But fate had other plans, because one evening, something arrived at her door, something that should have been impossible. A letter from her own past, and with it came a truth she had long forgotten. Hannah had always been alone. She lived in a small apartment at the edge of the city, where the streets were quiet and the night stretched endlessly. She had no family left, no close friends, no one to call when she was sad, and no one to wait for when she came home. She had tried once to fit in, to make friends, fall in love, to be seen. But people drifted away, lovers left. The world was too busy, and she was just a shadow in the background. So she stopped trying. Hannah's life became a routine of silent mornings and lonely nights. She would wake up, drink her coffee, go to work, come home, and sit by the window, watching life go on without her. Until one day, something changed. It was an ordinary evening when she found it. A small envelope slipped under her door. There was no sender, no stamp, just her name written in handwriting that felt strangely familiar. With trembling fingers, she opened it.
Hannah, if you are still alone when you read this, go back to where it all began. The answer is waiting for you.
She froze. The handwriting was hers. She had no memory of writing this letter, no idea when or why she had written it, but the message sent chills down her spine. Where it all began, there was only one place it could mean: her childhood home. The next morning, Hannah packed a small bag. She didn't know exactly what she was looking for, but deep down, she felt like she had no choice. The train ride back to her hometown was quiet, except for the rhythmic clatter of the wheels on the tracks. Outside the window, the world passed by in a blur of colors: golden fields, thick forests, distant mountains. But Hannah barely saw any of it. Her mind was lost in the past. The house stood at the end of a lonely road, just as she remembered it. Old, forgotten, frozen in time. The once bright blue paint had faded to a dull grey, and vines crawled up the sides like nature was trying to reclaim it. She hesitated at the front steps, her heart pounding. The doorknob was cold against her palm. She turned it slowly, and with a soft creak, the door swung open. The air inside was heavy, not just with dust, but with something deeper, something invisible, yet almost tangible. Everything was as she had left it: the worn-out couch, the bookshelf filled with old paperbacks, the small table by the window where she used to sit and read. And then she saw it. A box sitting on the old wooden table in the middle of the living room. It hadn't been there before. Her fingers trembled as she stepped closer. Taped to the lid was a folded piece of paper. She peeled it off, unfolded it, and read the words written in her own handwriting.
Inside this box is the truth you forgot. Are you ready to remember?
Hannah's breath caught in her throat. Her fingers hovered over the lid of the box. For a moment, she considered leaving, walking away, and never looking back. But something inside her whispered, "You've already come this far." She opened it. The first thing she saw was a stack of old photographs. Her younger self stared back at her, smiling, happy, standing beside people she didn't recognize. Her hands shook as she flipped through them. One picture showed her sitting on a man's shoulders, laughing. Another had her holding hands with a woman. Their backs turned to the camera as they watched the sunset. She had no memory of these moments, no memory of these people. And then, the newspaper clipping. The edges were yellowed with age, the ink slightly faded, but the headline was still clear.
Tragic car accident. Family of 3 killed. Only daughter survives.
Her vision blurred as she read the details. A family of 3, a car crash on a rainy night, a lone survivor, the daughter, her. The memories hit her like a tidal wave. The rain, the headlights, the sharp sound of tires skidding, the crash, the silence, the unbearable, crushing silence. She clutched the paper in her hands, her breath coming in ragged gasps. She had forgotten. She had chosen to forget. Tears fell silently as she sat in the empty house, surrounded by the ghosts of her past, that the world had abandoned her. But the truth was, she was the one who had forgotten how to belong. She looked at the pictures again. The people in them had once loved her. And maybe, just maybe, somewhere in the world, there were still people who could... For the first time in years, Hannah allowed herself to hope. She wiped her tears, took a deep breath, and stepped out of the house. This time, she wasn't running away. This time, she was going home.